Jesse's participating, he is, she has no babysitter for the girls. She has, I sent her requests, and I have not seen her show up yet, so.
Okay.
She may not have. She may have, by
And
now.
that's, I just, she's still right.
That won't do that no more.
Any other public comment on agenda items? Yes. Katie.
Comment for old business city administrator coverage discussion. Oh, Katie Rardell.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm hoping that, because I read the agenda, or I read through the agenda already. So just hoping that when this comes up, we're kind of hear some discussions moving forward, since December's, we're almost already through it, which is crazy. But that seems to be how 2026 is going. My personal opinion for the city council to consider is that we offer Dave a 3-month minimum extension, and you guys reopen the city administration position. And fill somebody adequate that can still train. I don't believe that vacating that and leaving it up to the current staff members that we have is fair. And we have too many unfinished projects going on right now. We haven't even finished the comprehensive city code development. You have the developers for the snow here. I know a hearing's coming up with the lot sizes, which hasn't even been scheduled yet. And we just reclassified all of their job descriptions and pay raises. So you are going to expect them to pick up the slack. There's going to be holes. There's some of that stuff they're not even qualified or even know how to handle. So even if you do decide to use them in the interim, I really hope that you guys evaluate the descriptions and everything that Dave's doing now, and you pay them accordingly, because I don't know that you would have it in your budget unless for the next fiscal year, unless Dave's salary was already budgeted for the next 6 months. So you would have to divvy that up until you find somebody adequate. Because you guys had 6 months notice. So I feel like when we open this up, we were kind of pushing our limits at the very end of this term contract. And then we hired somebody not so adequate. So that's all I have. I just hope to see some really good decisions come about this in the next couple weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Well, just to remind everybody, Jesse Holden is joining us via Zoom or via phone, right, Dave? Okay, phone or Zoom?
Zoom moment.
Just.
Yeah, I'm here.
Any other public comment on agenda items? Yes, Meta.
So it's like on obviously Dave's coverage
So
of
your name, Meta.
Meta Nelson. I work in the city, I live here, on Buckley.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Sorry.
That's okay, no, it's okay, I get it. On Dave's coverage, just to reiterate what Katie said and the chaos that could consume because we won't be able to do our jobs. We kind of talked with Dave about it, in the last couple weeks, and he spends 20 minutes or 20 hours, not minutes, on minutes and agenda items and all of that stuff, and then setting up here and during meetings, and that's 40 hours. So just for me and Anna, that's a whole week for us that we would miss our own job that we already have to do. So we're really hoping that moving forward that you'll at least think about extending Dave's contract, at least until we can get somebody in there, so it really doesn't cause the chaos that none of us to handle in the city office. I think that's it.
Okay, any other comment on agenda items? Okay, then we will move forward. With approval of the council minutes from November. And then we also have council minutes from December 1st.
Yeah, I've had other people on here and they're here, and she's having awful audio. I've had other people say they can hear it, so I'm not sure what's the issue. So I don't think it's on my end.
But
I
she,
just sent her a text.
okay, she doesn't,
Yep, she can hear now.
okay, she doesn't yell out loud or she raises her hand, needs to say something. Is there any discussion, corrections, additions, subtractions to the November meeting minutes?
I'll go for your approval.
I second it.
So Richard has made a motion to approve the regular council meeting minutes from November 18th, 2025. Tammy has seconded those. Richard, your vote. Tammy, your vote.
Yes.
Janie, your vote.
Yes.
Jesse, your vote.
Yes. Can you hear me?
See her on there. Can you hear Jesse?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Unmute yourself
It says I'm unmuted.
or send me a thumbs up or something.
Yes.
Oh, she says yes. I've got it on the record here.
Okay. And Maria, your vote.
Yes.
Motion carries. And then the council minutes from December 1st. Forward. Anything need correction there or discussion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of December 1st, 2025. I second it.
Okay, so Tammy made a motion to approve the council minutes from December 1st, 2025. Maria has seconded it. Maria, your vote.
Yes.
Jesse, your vote.
Yes.
You're
Can you hear me?
Janie, your vote.
Yes.
Tammy, your vote.
Yes.
Richard, your vote.
Yes.
And yes for Jesse. Motion carries. Okay, now we're on to the police report. Welcome, Chief Singh.
City writing, so what they were in last month, so I will do all.
Questions? I did, since you missed the last meeting, you saw that the 911 folks had come. Gave us a rundown. It wasn't the financial end of things, but I'm curious how your relations with them are going since we've been trying to keep them, hold them to the contract. Are they communicating with you like they should be? Are you able to communicate back with them? Oh, that's what it is. Put everything on Justin's and on. It's true. Think about it. Hey, we're on to public works. And the bids you lined up with?
I think there was 9, was it 9, 7 or 9 have taken packets.
That's what you had said in your
Actually, 20 now.
Yeah, take it.
Wow.
But only what? In the culture.
The electrical companies today and then a couple contractors. So I wasn't sure who all did it. Next Thursday we'll open bids.
Yeah, next Thursday is when the bid is due.
18.
And then, since we're on this subject, we may as well let everybody council meeting on Monday, the 22nd, sorry, pretty sure it's. Monday. To review the bids and award contractors, correct? Yeah.
So Scott, the third phase, is that where we clean the water? Is that the third phase?
Yeah, that will be with, the booster station at golf course, the, moving the chlorine, adding the, to get rid of the iron manganese, I don't know what that.
So
Polyphosphate.
I thought we didn't have money to do that from the grant. Is there money available for that, or we?
We've had,
just-
we've had to cut the project to see with what money we have, and so that's.
So you're doing the bid to see if we have enough money?
We know we know how much we have. We want to see where the bids come in. We know how much we bid, we set the project at a certain amount based on reducing it way down from 2.5 million down to 600,000. So
Or you reduce it down to that, you think?
we had to. We don't have the money.
Okay. And what we have is 600.
Close.
Okay.
We're working on remaining funds, but we'll just, we don't have to work on anything. We'll just see where the bids come in.
So in working it down, is that gonna take the quality down too, or no,
Just the amount.
just the amount?
We'll be demolitioning the well for, putting it in a vault. We won't be removing the booster station and put it up on the hill. Everything stays as is. We're adding a small chlorinator and polyphosphate building at the well, tying those all in, fixing the booster station at Stanfield to move the water up to the new water tower better, and then power at the water tower, and a couple other little things.
Yeah.
We skipped about everything else.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sure I'm missing something, but that's the majority.
Yeah, we deleted the big,
All the heavy, expensive stuff.
Mhm.
Do you guys get much iron manganese in your well? Okay,
Just well 5 here, well 4 is 0. Well
Yeah.
5 over there is 0.
interesting.
Yeah, just happens to be.
very far apart.
Right. Hmm. Well, good. I mean, people will be happy to get rid of that.
So you don't need falling.
All right. Anything else for Scott? There's one thing, it's not a big to do, but up on the hill, coming down where Cottage Lane comes out, the water runs along the asphalt for a little ways, and then it dumps off on maybe about 10 feet or so down the hill, and it's eating away right next to the asphalt. Okay, today with all the rain, you see that kind of stuff. The road's good. It's that rock that's right next to the asphalt. Section. Okay. It's like we were on the coast today, then we should all own this much. So. All right, well, thank you, Scott. Okay,
She had family emergency, extended family situation, so.
hope everything's okay. We did see, that since she's not here, I'll go over her report real quick. From, revenues continue to rise. November of 2024, at the golf course, we did almost $4,000 in gross revenue. This year, we did just over $11,000. So a 285% increase. Basically about $74 gross. Had the Glow tournament on the first, which had 18 participants. The Morgan tournament on the 16th had 23. The next tournament will be held Saturday, December 6th. It's an ugly sweater 4-person scramble, and the proceeds benefit the Justin Cowboy Crisis Fund. I don't know how full that is, but I'll bet you there's probably still some openings.
December 6th is coming up.
Oh, yeah. Shows you how- shows you how-
Sorry, I heard
I'm
that.
still back in November. I can't believe it.
Thought about it. Maybe
I'll do some. Membership renewal is just around the corner. Fees will remain the same as in 25, and the annual membership runs March 1st through the 28th. There is a membership drive in effect. Any new member will play for free from now until the new membership year begins. So you get from now until March 1st for free. Renewing a member promo will be the same as last year. Renew before January 31st. Save 5% on your membership. Park sheds and trophies are not included in that. All right. Anything additional on the golf report? Love to see those numbers. That's good. Okay, so we'll move on to committees. I have nothing for the art committee. I don't even know what day it is, so I can't keep up on our committee right now. So, anything on the trail committee, Tammy?
The only thing is they had a big convention in Portland, the state one, a couple weekends ago, and it was really great because they showed off Kelly Noble's portion, and the people loved it. They did a tour of it. And so that was really good because it could be some more financing to get that portion started. Yeah, there was like 500 people in extra Hamilton for like about 3 days. All the trail people.
Thank you, Tammy.
But we haven't met, the committees haven't met because it's, they're doing some bidding and stuff, but, they're trying to sign up to get Kelly started.
Yeah.
And Kelly Nobles is really involved, donated property, great guy, it's gonna be gorgeous.
Good.
Kids.
Anything else on committees? Then, we'll move on to business. Still looking for a city administrator.
We haven't been recruiting yet.
We haven't, issued the job posting, yet, because there's still some discussion on that, it seems like.
So hoping we can have that tonight with this discussion as well.
Sure, so I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, Dave, and, go from there.
So you heard a couple folks talk tonight. There are other folks in the audience that have approached me as well, just to discuss different options and different ideas. Ultimately, it's up to the council. As far as my retirement, I'm still retiring. Nothing changes with PERS. That dog is sailed. It's already down that road. But returning to work with the city hopefully would save the city a little bit of money. I'm not interested in a very long period of time working here, but I think the council needs to understand a few things that would affect operations for the city itself. And let me just kind of run you through a few things that happened in January. If you don't own your own business, you don't do this, but in the city, it's no different than private business. January is when taxes are due, W-2s, W-3s, 1099s, Q4 gets done. All of those types of end of year activity gets done. There isn't anybody else in the city who knows how to do that besides me. I mean, that's not been anybody else's job but mine since I've been here. And so that leaves a quandary. Remember that, you can hire an accountant to come in and do something like that, sure. However, they would have to be trained on the accounting system because it's proprietary and I built it with Assist, so it didn't exist before I came here. So those are some things that the council needs to probably take into consideration if they want to extend any time here. There's also a number of projects that we have going currently. You've also worked with Katie, and I think Ahmed brought up some things about the Hatley project. They have submitted an application. I'm in the middle of working through that. Their staff review report right now is typing on it today to get that prepared and ready. That's, it's 20, 25 page review document, so it takes a little bit of time, have to send out letters, have to send out notifications, have to put it in the newspaper. There's quite a few things that go with that. That all needs to happen sometime in January, February at the latest. What you don't know is that I also got a $500,000 grant, which I haven't put in front of you yet. It's not on the agenda tonight, from ODOT through the IOF, through Business Oregon. There's a lot of acronyms involved, but what it is it's an industrial grant for paving it's an incentive the state did through Business Oregon and ODOT that you have to encourage industrial and commercial infrastructure in areas that don't currently have it or are building new to help offset costs. So there's a match. So Northgate has to match those funds. It's all in the agreement. So there's a $500,000 grant that's sitting there in the queue, waiting to be shuffled forward. That needs to be done in January, February, and you guys need to be able to read. That's a pretty big contract, because IOF is something you guys haven't done before, or seen before. So it's a little bit of a learning curve for you to understand the logistics of it. But basically, the money's passed through like it's Business Oregon, so it's passed through just like all the other projects that we've done with Business Oregon. We also have Scott Madison has requested that he get his property rezoned. And so that's going to be happening sometime this next year. He requested that a few weeks ago. So there's a number of just bigger things that are going on, and something that you guys seem to hold dear to your hearts, the budget. Budget season starts January 1st. So, you know, we go to CIS training in February for your insurance and your property insurance and all those types of what those percentages are going to be. There's a tremendous amount of work that goes into building the city budget. I do it completely different than my predecessor, and I'm sure somebody that you hire will come in and do it different than me to get the same result, I hope. But there's a lot of work that goes into that. It's, you know, between 150 and 180 hours go into building the budget each spring for me. That's what it takes me to build it. I'm maybe slower than somebody else, but that's about what it takes to get it built. So you guys have it by April or May. This year is going to 2026. There's a lot of changes with state payrolls. I've been getting notifications, and I'm sure those of you that own businesses, we're going to get the same ones for workman's benefit and other things are changing. So there's a lot of things that are happening. So those are some things that are going to be, somebody's going to need to be aware of those and how to program those in our system. So there's a number of things that just need to keep moving forward. Northgate, that's another thing. Northgate got the green light, yellow light, green light, red light. I could be a game with ODOT, but I think the game has gotten a lot better, and they came to the table last week and met with the city, Northgate, and I feel like we've kind of closed the door on what I would call unfair treatment of cities, small cities, and developers for having to rebuild the interchange. That's no longer on the table. So that's kind of a big change in their direction. So that's allowing Northgate to continue to move forward. I'm not sure where they're at. I just know that they've been given they're giving themselves green light to move forward and change engineering. I'm waiting to see a final updated plans for that. Basically, what the plans change is just where they get access into the property and how that's going to work. Comes further south and versus close to the freeway. Granted versus open access. Miss Madison took the applications in and for both, and I think they're going to do them simultaneously if I heard correctly at the meeting. So that, and then the ODOT, I think the grant committee is going to meet in January, and normally this takes a year, 2 years to do, and they're going to do it in a month. So I don't know what changed, but I'll take it. I think the city should be happy that this is a good opportunity. Some businesses are showing interest again. I don't know if they got the memo, but it's nice to hear. So we'll see what that looks like. No commitments, just discussions. And I think that's a positive thing. So I also met with Scott Madison. The reason I'm telling you all this is because all this is happening now. And these have things that need to be done and need to have end dates. Some of them can be put off, but some of them can't. Please go ahead. I'm just trying to lay out what's going on so you guys know.
Sure that everybody's clear. What I'm hearing is that you're potentially willing to offer your services for a short amount of time.
Correct.
If the council and you can work out an agreement.
Correct.
Okay. And what I heard from the audience is that our staff, and I think it's obvious, that they would not be able to do their job and your job
Correct.
because of all the things. I mean, phase 3 of the water, the North Gate, the additions, the this, the that, the other thing, there's a ton going on.
Correct.
That they wouldn't know how to do, not because they are
think
terrible
it's
employees.
So
or
video.
not smart to figure it out, it's just that there's just no way to train them to do that in this amount of time.
And it took me, I mean, I've been in the public service for 36 years, and I've been in this business for almost 6.5 going on 7. And it took me a year and a half, and I had lots and lots and lots of training and management training and budget training and contract training before I ever took this job. And so, and it still took me a year and a half, and there's still things that I learn all the time, like didn't know the IOF existed until 6 months ago when Business Oregon came to me. So there's just a ton of things to learn. And Meta and I'll be honest with you, Meta and I've talked a lot. I think that Meta, as one potential candidate for the future, is interested in this type of work, but she also knows that she needs to get some training. She was looking at accounting classes today, and these are things that we were talking about to make her more comfortable in those roles and being able to do that. But there's a lot of things, contract negotiations, those are a lot of things you got to learn over time. You don't learn over it, so it takes some time to do that. And she's willing to put in some of that time, but even her and I've come to the agreement that 2 years, 3 years, full on learning and training before she felt comfortable taking something like that on, if she even decided to do that. But I'm really proud of her for wanting to think that way and work that direction. And I think that the community should be happy that they've got such quality people in this community that are interested in doing it, but they're just not ready. She's just not ready yet. And those are her words, not mine. And, but I think that she has capability, as do others. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of, hopefully you have some potential candidates once we figure out what you want to put on the application. So, there's a whole, I have pages and pages of things that I've written down here, but, at the end of the day, I feel like this is no disrespect to the council, no disrespect to anybody or a dish on anybody. I really don't think that everybody really understands what I do, what this job does. And one of the things, Diane and I don't talk a lot, but one of the things that she and I talked about early on when I first got here, and I have to agree with her 100%, is most people really don't know what a city administrator, city manager, same thing, do on a day-to-day basis. Every one of us in the big city, small city, in between city that has these duties, believe it or not, have the same duties. However, the bigger the city, the more the staff, the more the people to spread out the wealth to do the different things to allow for you to focus on those things. In these smaller cities, all of the same responsibilities to all the agencies and all the permits and all of the legal things that go on that sometimes you don't even see, other than you approve in the finances because there are permits and fees and things like that. But the other agencies to keep our water system on, keep our sewer licenses going, all those types of things that go on. There's just a ton of things that people don't really understand that go through this office. And that doesn't make us special or better than anybody else. It just means that we're kind of dumb when we want to do all this extra work, I guess, because there's a ton of things to do. And can you prioritize and knock some of these things down? Yeah, sure, you can. But we're kind of in a situation where we have a lot of things that are kind of at the top of the list. Checking them off and getting them off are really important to do. And I haven't really been applying or trying to do anything else for a number of months to add more to the plate. These are just things that have been moving and mulling their way through the processes. So, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. And if you're willing to entertain a month or 2 or 3, I have applied for jobs. I've already applied for creating a business for myself, a consulting business. So I am definitely looking at the next chapter in my life. But I think that we need to probably look at what's best for Echo for at least a month or 2 or 3 to make sure that you guys are looking for what you want. I got some feedback from a few of you, and go from there. So I'll let you know that.
being December 9th, not the 6th. There's no way we're gonna get somebody in here before the end of the year, and we're struggling to do that from the get-go. So it's gonna be a while. So we need to consider our options, and I guess that's probably what we'll do. Discuss it further in the executive session.
That's what you want
Is
to do.
that right, or should you want to have
I
more
think that
discussion?
sounds good.
So the other half of this conversation, okay, thank you. The other half of this conversation is the recruitment. So I've heard from the mayor, I've heard from Tammy, I've heard from Janie, and I've heard from Maria. I heard from Jesse, then I heard from Berlin, and I did not hear from Rich. I heard directly from Janie, she was good with moving forward as is. Jesse was the same, the mayor was the same. Tammy presented me, I'm just gonna read them because they sent me some emails. Wanted to, had 3 things she wanted to either adjust or change. She said a minimum of associate's degree, but a bachelor's degree would be preferred. The exception would be if someone interviewed with 10 years of experience in public agency and administration capacity and had only a high school, but appeared to be fit for ECHO's mission statement and vision statement. Residency requirements is not required, but we encourage it. There was available housing. It would be required to live within 20 minutes of ECHO. And the other thing that she suggested was 2 years of experience in financial administrative management role, planning role with policy and grant writing skills. Government agency would include city, county, state, federal, and military. Thank you, Tammy Williams. That was what she had sent me there. Maria sent me today, I changed it into an email so I could read it, sorry. She has 2 years of minimum of public administration with some types of specialty connected to either an associate's degree or bachelor's degree. Number 2, preferably lives or will reside within 10-mile radius of ECHO. Third, the following are some preferred areas, concepts to be adequately familiar with: understanding budget development background, grant writing experience, environmental policy, labor and relations knowledge, and some knowledge of water treatment and wastewater systems. Thank you, Maria. So those were some of the feedbacks that I got from Maria and Tammy in writing. And that was all I've got so far.
So you've got 3 that you've heard back that want to keep it the same as what we had previously, and you've got 2 that have some minor, well, some changes, I guess. I guess some of that's qualifications.
Yes, there are. I mean, those are all categories that are in there.
Yeah.
What we currently have now is 30 minutes within miles. So,
Yeah, I think 30 minutes is fine. That opens the door to housing.
Chief, what is yours? What is yours part for yours?
Our city policy is
20, 25 minutes. So,
Is how, are you guys okay?
July, if I could send another thing, I suggested maybe they don't have to have a master's.
I didn't get that. I think you sent me in a text.
Okay.
You didn't send that to me, and that was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I do remember you saying that. I do remember that now. That was a text you were texting me on something else, and you said something about that. But in the emails to this, that was one. So I apologize. Thank you for reminding me.
Well, I think it's wise to stay with the bachelor's degree. I mean,
Not just a few words, then this bit.
let's say a master's degree, but
Silence. Anything around and sitting.
some sort of is needed. Way things go. In the 80s, you probably could have got away with an associate degree. Nowadays, I don't see how anybody could come in here without a degree.
She's dead. She was the first person.
I almost said, kind of look at it like,
we're
Yes.
offering a small town job to a lot of people who are looking for a big town job. And I hate to put really strict restrictions on who we're looking for, like a degree, you know. Some people with a degree I wouldn't hire. Some people without a degree I think would be worth hiring and training.
Who do you think you're training?
I don't.
That's kind of the problem, is that there isn't a way to train them unless they trains them.
Aren't there classes that they could take
Public
area like in Tri-Cities or Blue Mountain or?
That's what we call degree classes. There are other classes through LOC or through other agencies to get some training on. But I guess if somebody came to us and had been a city administrator with that for 10 years and they had a high school degree, and that was their highest level of education, but they had 10 years of city administrator experience, then I guess that could suffice. But then you know they've been able to do the job for an extended amount of time, and more than likely you should know what they're doing by then. But
Can you guys hear me? I don't know. Can you hear me?
Do you want me to add some of these things, delete some of these things? Do you want me to post it? I mean, up to you guys. I mean, I've got it in writing here, what's there, what's already, you guys already have what we ran with the last time.
I appreciate what Richard said. I agree with what he said too.
Okay.
we're gonna have to find somebody that knows how to do the job, so they're not overwhelmed and the city's not put in a bad spot. There's not gonna be anybody here to train. So
Don't you think that everybody that takes this job has a little bit of training to
I
come?
think they do,
And that
yes.
they're very, if you pick the right person that is ambitious and ready to go, they'll take that opportunity and train like Dave did. Took
Yes,
classes to
but
train.
Dave had already worked in upper management and, HR type things and had a degree and had budgeting experience and those kind of things. So, I think you can't just open the door to everybody and have anybody walk in and they tell you that they're ambitious and excited to learn, because they're gonna have some base knowledge before they can walk through it and be expected to run the city.
That's why we're gonna interview them, and that's why we are writing a baseline, but we're gonna interview those people as a group to choose.
Right, so where do you want the baseline?
I wrote what I thought, and I agree with what you said. I agree with what Maria said, I agree with what Jean said. So,
Can you guys hear me now?
can we put it together?
Can you put, in the job description, both, things that a candidate has to have and things that we would prefer that they have? Like, if we're talking about degree, we can put down prefer, bachelor or master's, but not say you don't have one, don't apply.
You have minimum qualifications and you have preferred qualifications of that.
Like the minimum would possibly be like so many years of experience in a position as such. With, 5 or more employees, over 5 or more employees. So used to it.
Can you guys hear me now?
I guess Dave, maybe
No, I can't hear me.
throw this out there, leave it basically the same as what you have now. But as far as education seems to be the biggest piece, I'm hearing everybody right, then put down a, 4-year degree. Bachelor's degree is, or higher is preferred,
I don't think
but. Those are changes, right?
also that would be preferred to have a bachelor's degree and preferred to have a master's.
Isn't that
But
what
it's
you just
some,
said?
you know, he said it doesn't, we had to have a bachelor's.
No, I said preferred.
Okay, preferred.
That's what I
So-
So I'll start over, Dave. Preferred would be a bachelor's or master's degree,
Sticker.
but candidates could be considered
Sticker.
with an associate's degree and 2 years experience, 4 years experience, something to that effect.
2 years.
What do you guys think?
More experience of that.
Well, you have to put something in writing. You can't just say, well, we're just looking for a good guy and we'll pick the best one, because we'll have 400 people that we'll have to interview. So you could,
Anyways,
Candace says too,
it's
I would
already
say
open.
probably 4 years of experience, in a management, budgeting role with, and list all those types of things that you do, which is already listed there. But if you have experience doing those things, then we wouldn't require you to have it. That sound good? 2, 4, what do you guys say?
2.
Tammy says 2, I say 4.
Let's go for 3. Yeah, let's go 3. Let's do
Right,
3.
everybody says 3.
Okay, so Jesse says, I agree with everyone, but we are at the mercy of who applies. It would be a good idea, it would be the idea to have someone with a good idea with somebody that has a degree, yes, but also work experience, because you learn more on the job.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think this is.
Okay,
Okay.
I can change that. Do I have your permission if I make those changes to put it on Indeed and out on the street tomorrow? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Can you hear
We'll
me?
make those changes. Okay, so. She said yes as well.
Thank you, Jesse.
For some reason, they can hear her on YouTube, but I can't hear her on here. She's not muted, says there's some other glitch. I think it's a mic issue on her computer is what she thinks it is,
Oh.
Yeah.
or on
Well, as
Zoom.
long as you're paying attention to her, that's good, because
I am.
they can see her. Okay, so we're done with that discussion. I think we covered what you needed to cover. Is that correct, Dave?
Yeah, we'll see about what you guys talk about in a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then moving on to new business, there's no new business, so we'll move on to authorization for signature authority.
Yeah, it's just from Meta, so she has access, and most of that stuff that I put on that list don't require your approval, but the banks do. And so I put that on there, and I also put that on there just so you guys can kind of have an idea, and that's just a flavor of everything that we're connected to. That's not all of it, that's only part of it, but those are some of those things that we have communication with every month, or have bills with every month, and so they have accounts.
So you want Ameta to have, sorry, we're gonna back up here to the very beginning. You want Ameta to have signature authority in place of you. So if you're.
Well, if I'm here next month, she's gonna train and get that done, but once I leave, yes. I think somebody needs to have it until you get somebody hired, or you don't have I don't know what you wanna do.
Well, if you were here, then you would be the signer.
Correct.
If you're not here and we have no other city administrator, you would refer to them.
So if you want to defer it to January, if I'm here, then it's a moot point. If I'm not here, then you approve it then? Is that what you want to do?
Can I just make the motion and get it done with, or?
That's what I threw it out there for, and so you can undo it. You can undo it any day, anytime.
Let me,
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we get that Aneta can, get authorization for signature authority now.
in place of, not in addition.
No, it can't be in addition, can't it?
We already have, we already have enough signage. We've got Tammy, me,
And
and
me.
Jesse, and you. But I
But
don't,
but you have to have staff, and then if you don't want any more on it, that's fine.
well, I don't think if we have.
But here's the thing, if she's on a signer, she can't do the banking.
But if
You don't do the bank.
But then we have two people in the office that can sign checks, that no outside person from the office would be signing checks.
No, that's not our policy. Our policy is one staff, one council member.
That's what I'm saying, is that if you're not available to sign, Meta could,
Correct.
but
Correct.
it can't be you and a Meta.
No, that's against the rules now.
I
So,
want
yes.
to make that clear.
Well, you confused the heck out of me, to be honest, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, sorry, I know exactly what I'm thinking.
Well, I don't, so.
Flying out.
Can you guys hear me now?
No, that's not what I was saying.
No, she can't get the authority right now to sign, she just can't sign.
I need to get her access to that, so she can actually learn what I'm doing in the banking
Yeah.
on that now, which you guys see all the time in the bank statements.
Yeah.
Everything I do, you see. There's nothing hidden. However, I'm the only one doing it, and Tanya doesn't have access to it, so.
Yeah, so we have a motion on the table still.
And we have a second. Okay, so Tammy made a motion to authorize Meta to sign for signature 40.
Mhm.
Maria has seconded that. Jane, your vote.
Yes.
Tammy, your vote.
Yes.
Richard, your vote. Maria, your vote.
Yes.
And Jesse, your vote.
Yes, right here.
Can you hear me at all now?
Motion carries. Okay, and then now we're on to approval of resolution 527, 2025, a supplemental budget. Dave, you want to run us through that real quick?
Do you have any questions to start off with? It's exactly what I explained in the last council meeting, except now it's in legal format. Runs through each fund. Under Oregon budget law, if you're under 10%, you don't have to go and do a notice other than what we did for our meeting and have a separate hearing for that. If anything over 10% in any fund, you have to hold a regular, which we usually do at least once a year, have a regular supplemental budget hearing where we have a secondary hearing to go over anything over 10% change. All of these changes are basically moving contingency appropriated funds that you already appropriate in the budget from contingency into payroll expense throughout the budgets. And the only place that there's any change in the budget total is in the water fund. And again, as explained in the last council meeting, as I was going through and analyzing the budget and looking at our revenues, projecting them out based on where we're sitting right now, and if we continue to have the same amount of revenue percentage wise, will be considerably more than what I budgeted. I kind of under budgeted on that one. Happens every now and then on me. So I added that in there as perceived revenue for the future, and that still kept it under 20% or under 10%. And I put most of that went into contingency for water anyway. So what's up, as you can see, 17,330 of that would just go into contingency and not be spent anyway. So it's kind of just moved it from revenues and moved it into expense and then appropriated. So really it only changed the entire budget. It's a $3,500,000 budget by $20,250.
Can you guys hear me now?
I move approval of resolution 527 and 2025 budget adjustment.
I'll second.
Okay, Richard has made a motion to approve resolution 527-2025 budget adjustment. Janie has seconded. Amy, your vote.
Yes.
Janie, your vote.
Yes.
Richard, your vote. Maria, your vote.
Yes.
And Jesse, your vote.
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, we're on to administrator reports. Dave, your
I do not have much. Financial report, I provided you in your packets and I also provided you in physical form there. Are there any questions on any expenditures, any bank statements, and that kind of stuff? Even though we don't have near as much business Oregon money running through the city, we still seem to be doing fairly decent on interest, trying to keep as much in the investment pool. The property taxes are coming in exactly as I predicted. We are at, as of the other day, what's today, Tuesday the 9th, so as of Friday, we were at 110,000 of our 125 to 128,000 that I predict we're gonna get. So we're got a good chunk of it in already, so that's a good thing. And that all goes into the investment account, so that doesn't, we don't need, that just gets put aside for now. And so that seems to be sitting pretty good for the
So
time.
Dave,
Yes,
say that one more time, 128,000 for a year.
that's about right.
For 2026.
Yeah, that's what it'll end up being, somewhere right in there. That's with prior and current year. It might be closer to 130. It all depends on,
Mhm.
every year is a little different. I usually get a variance of a couple $1,000s. It just depends on if somebody pays their taxes when they paid in November, they paid in February, or they get a delay, a deferment. So I have no idea who that is or where that is. I just kind of have enough years under my belt watching it kind of move, and it just moves pretty much without any new additional properties or businesses in the city. It's gonna be the same. I mean, obviously you got assessments that came through Echo this year. We all know that. So there's a few things that come up, but what doesn't change is what comes to the city because it's still the same tax rate. So your tax rate may have gone up because the county assessors taxed your property for more, which they do, but that does more money doesn't come to the city. Ours is a fixed rate, doesn't change at all. So it's still $4 and what, 4.232 per thousand, that never changes. So it's kind of frustrating when I see tax folks come in and say, I paid more this year in my taxes, but we don't see any more in the city, the county, the state, wherever those go, or the bonds or the cemetery, the fire district, whatever they've got going. I don't pay any attention to that, but that's where those other revenues go. It doesn't come to the city. So that's why it's pretty easy to predict what we're gonna get. We get new businesses, we get new houses, good things, more tax revenue, but we don't, so that's where we're at. And that's all I have. I don't have anything extra to add to the, that plan.
anything additional for Dave? Then at this point, we will open it back up to public comment. This time does not have to be on an agenda item. And the same criteria hold as the previous public comment. Mr. Madison.
Ken Madison, 28647 Madison Road. Excuse me, a comment on the city administrator. You're gonna have a 3-year minimum, which is probably a great idea, but I would suggest you do a 3-year minimum under the same employer. Because you could get somebody that's worked in a city administrative position for 3 years under 6 different employers. And that's probably not who you're gonna want, is somebody that's moving through it fast, so you might consider that. And the second thing is the Hadleys and ourselves have spent a pretty good chunk of money trying to get things going in the city, and we're moving in the right direction, and a lot of that's been under Dave's leadership. So if you could keep him on over the next several months until you get somebody that's as good as Dave or better, we would sure appreciate it. Because that's my own personal opinion. I'm not speaking for the Hadleys, but I'm pretty sure they feel the same way. We've got a lot of investment in this community that we'd like to see moving in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Okay, anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
231 Garden Street. I'm just here to come in front of you guys, let you guys know that we raised 10,000 lights that are in the park right behind us. And our committee would like to donate them, have you guys adopt them, but we will come back and help you every year and put them up. And we want to keep it going and move it more. We want to do the River Park for days, get that one done for next year. And we also want to know if anywhere you guys could allow us to run under a 501 to be able to have donations come in other than free donations. Kind of like maybe the Booster Club fund that we used to have, because it's not really running anymore.
We'll talk after the meeting.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Or how many things in this session?
And
Well, let's talk to Dave and Scott about that. They'd be the best two.
okay.
Right, Scott, can I speak in the line then? Okay. And then I'll work with you on that.
Okay, and then I want to thank everybody in the crowd that has put Christmas lights up this year. We are sitting at 100 houses and businesses since last night when I drove around.
Oh, that's very good.
So that's a big number.
Thank you. Anyone else?
All right. No worries.
I hate it when I'm a violation. Mike Duffy, box 127 and Echo. And, so as long as Dave's willing to hang up for it, I'm surprised that he do that. I'll feel badly for you on the council. That place. I don't know what you're going through. The qualifications sound pretty good. And I only had a difference with the education. Some combination, and I think the final draft didn't get some combination in there. Maybe I misunderstood what was said. I do agree that people learn a lot on the job. And most people say you learn more on the job than you do with a degree. Don't have it. So I would suggest maybe that could get massaged just a little bit. It's a big dang job. I remember when you hired Dave, it wasn't this group, it was the council. And then it came time to do his evaluation. Where did you hear that? Tell me maybe this. Yeah. And I stood up and I was feeling audacious, and so I said, I'm embarrassed for you. Yeah. Our Steve's sitting right here. He looked at me like that, and you better. Oh. Because it was time to evaluate the administrator. And what did they do? They got the administrator to provide the evaluation criteria and procedure. Here you are, you're in charge. Handle it. I said, I'm embarrassed for you. Good job, friends. I know you're all tired. And you should be. You've been through a lot. We've had the bandwagon fallacy better than we've ever had. The call to perfection fallacy. We can absolutely nothing until everything is perfect. away historic events as old as the bandwagon. We're not doing new stuff here. We're doing stuff people have done for centuries. But we're doing it here. Now, out of fairness, I have to say, you can't look to our state elected officials or our feds and find anything better. But we can maybe look at ourselves. And I hope we do. Thank you for your service. And wish you well. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else?
Processing what everyone was coming up here and saying. I guess my thing from like this whole hiring process is like, why did the council hang on to this one individual that you were considering of hiring for so long? I guess who was pushing that, like looking at their application and everything, and then seeing, I don't have social media, so I don't know what's going on, the chatter in the town and stuff. But from what I heard from people, that a lot of people weren't wanting the person that was being considered. And I guess my question is, who's pushing that individual? Was it like the council? Because here we are coming up on mid-December. And back in, I think, May or June, correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, you had mentioned you were gonna resign in a year. It's like, all right. And then we come up to September, and then that gets cut down to the end of the year. So panic ensues. And so we do the hiring process, everything, and then we end up losing so much time on one individual. I'm just curious, like, why were you hung up on this one individual instead of just being like, you know what, I don't think they're a right fit. Let's save time and move on. And so I'm just curious, like, was that something the council was just feeling really strong about that individual, or was it someone in particular? You know, like, I'm just kind of curious because we lost pretty much like a month and a half, if not more. And also, I was active duty 10 years Air Force, and just one thing I learned is when you leave your unit or your base, the show will go on. And I'm sure, you know, I don't know like the exact credentials or the things that Dave has done. I'm sure he's done some great things from what I've heard, you know. I mean, I was gone for some portion of the time, but you know, this job is, you know, it's good to have those criteria, you know, like a schooling and, you know, personal experience and stuff, but a lot of stuff you just kind of learn on the job, and, you know, you don't always get a good turnover. And so, but the thing is, like, the machine will keep running, and there will be, there's resources to make sure that a person doesn't fail. You know, I'm pretty sure we're all caring enough to, you know, make sure that, you know, we help one another, especially in this position. And I was looking up, and, you know, I'm sure the state offers some resources for municipalities that are going through this transition. I think there's the Oregon City County Management Association. They offer some resources for this, and as well as the Oregon Municipal League. And so my thing is, we wasted time, and it just, I don't know, as a resident and just being involved in all the city business for the last, I don't know, I guess it all restarted in, you know, spring of 2023. It just, I've noticed this trend of just poor transparency. So all that to say is, you know, you're not gonna get everything you want in a person. You know, that's just not how it works. But at the same time, you need to just think of what's best for the residents and not for, you know, certain individuals that are trying to do things that might, you know, stroke your vision of what you think the town people need. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dick. Okay, anybody else? Mr. Duffy. You'd like that?
Real quick. Okay. Because everything's right. You may not get everything you want. Once in a while, you get more. I don't know who you're talking about. It might be you for all I know. I have no idea who this mysterious person is he's discussing. I think one of the things that happened is you got more this time. Yeah, council didn't know what to do. So now I still have 40 seconds. Thank you.
Yes, Chief.
My only question
Your
is
name.
229 Marble Street at. I don't think you're following the rules when you let people speak twice. That's the question I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Phyllis Shavelski, 221 West Main, Echo. You know, I asked about transportation earlier because this has been bothering me. We have in the rules and regulations, we have no parking on Jerome across from the high school, across from the schools. It was listed as no parking. It's still in there as a no parking zone. And parking goes on. I understand they're stretched for parking, but I think the council needs to look at that and either change it so that parking is allowed, or we start to enforce no parking. Just a thought.
Thank you, Phyllis. Okay, anybody else? Almost. Okay, you're up. Oh, sorry, well, I guess we'll adjourn. We've got it, at this point, the council's gonna move into executive session under ORS 192.6607D, the employment of the chief